So please come up.
Where to start? First I want to apologize. When this is over, I'm going to run out of here. I have to be in Ukiah at 8 o'clock in the morning for depositions. And I'm on a motorcycle tonight, but I'm not complaining about that. That's fantastic. I love that. And I need somebody to tell me when I'm supposed to stop, because I got to be honest with you people, I could rattle on about the shit that I have seen for days on end. And I am not kidding you. And Karen and I, left to use the vernacular, could fill one day with just the vernacular. And all that I say to you, I will not fully convey it. It's like when you never had kids, and you tell people you have had a kid, and you tell people, oh, this is wonderful, oh my God, it's so great, you know, and they say, oh, I'm sure it is, I get it, I get it. And then you find out they don't get it until they have a kid. It's just like that. So I don't know how succinct I'm going to be. It really is something that I do hate the system. I do think it needs to be blown up. I often say that the worst things that could happen to CPS is that I win the lottery or I get diagnosed with a terminal illness. Because I don't know what I'm capable of. If you've seen the heartache that I have seen, if you've seen the insanity that I have seen, and Karen has seen, and Jerry has seen, it would blow your mind. So I've been doing it about 22 years, been doing the juvenile dependency work. That's when they actually take the kids and you're in the state court. And then about 15 years ago, 16 years ago, in one of my exceptionally insane removals, my client called me and told me, did you know that you can sue them for this? And I said, well, I mean, I think I heard that, don't they have immunities? And she said, well, I have this case here, and they sued them, and they sued the crap out of them. And, well, send me the case, and I contacted the attorney, who was the lead attorney on that, this gentleman named Donnie Cox, and we kindred spirits. For those who believe in a higher power or purpose, I know that he put us together, and the very small squad of attorneys in the state that sue Child Protective Services, that there is literally about 10 of us. And Karen's husband is kind of a new to the fold, but maybe there's 11. And I'm serious, that's it. There's a few people who go out and make mistakes and muddy our pool and screw things up once in a while, but people know what they're doing. There's about 10 of us. So I field about 5 to 15 calls a week at my office from people, and I don't advertise. I have a website, that's it. They've read maybe an appellate opinion that I've handled at my office or something like that, but 5 to 15 a week, or other attorneys are referring them. I even get referrals from social workers on the side who are telling the people, you gotta call Robert Powell. You're getting screwed, you gotta call him. Don't tell him I sent you. You know, because like he said, and a lot of his book is about something that I really didn't appreciate until I read Jerry's book and met Jerry, and that is the traumatization that the social workers are going through when they can't do their work. And of course, like all groups of people, there's good and bad, and sadly I think most are bad, but that's because they're put under this gun of, you know, do what we want you to do and not what should be done, what you know morally should be done. So it's been quite an interesting 15 years suing them, as well as working in the juvenile courts. And I'm trying to come with some practical things to let you know about. One of the things I wanted to tell you about was who are the primary targets of Child Protective Services. And make no doubt about it, it's the poor, first of all. Okay? Because the poor can't fight back. They're going to get the court-appointed attorneys who are going to say, submit. I think that's the training they get. Say, submit. Submit to the pleading. Submit to the jurisdiction, whatever. You'll get your kids back sooner. You will hear these words over and over again. You'll hear the words flat affect, because you're emotionally drained. They've taken your children. You can't eat, you can't sleep, you're losing weight, you can't focus. Now you have a flat affect, okay? Then when they're wanting to rip you apart, you'll hear the words, the relationship is like that of an ant. I don't know how many times I've read that. It's insane. It is insane. So anyway, the poor is number one. They're going to be, the children of color was a study that was done years ago, and the black Americans are way overrepresented in the social services system. Another group that gets caught up in it a lot is those with special needs children. And the way that happens is, in order to get those benefits that they need to try and help their child survive and become, a productive member of society. Sometimes you get some very vocal, and I guess one could say vitrolic mothers or fathers who are pushing them and saying, well, here in this it says you're supposed to do this. School don't like that. They don't like being told what to do, or they don't like having to deal with the kid who pisses his pants or whatever his deal is. Sooner or later, you get the CPS referral. You've pushed too hard. You've pissed off the wrong person, and it just goes from there. And like Jerry said, the word that's legally is used is prima facie. If they put enough crap in here, the court has got to assume it is true. By statute, they are to assume that's true. It doesn't matter that none of it's true, or half of it's false, or they've left out some really big ones. That's the way it's going to work, and you're in, and they're keeping your kid. This is a quote on this subject of how they keep kids from a law review article that I read years ago, and I've kept it ever since, because I think it summarizes the real problem. This is from Rescuing Children from Abusive Parents, the constitutional value of pre-deprivation process. A large part of what I do when I'm suing them in federal court is about the fact that they've removed them without a warrant. And in a minute I'll talk about what happened after I sued enough of them that they were starting to get warrants, and what happened was exactly what I expected to have happen. In any event, what this article says, this is it's talking about Florida at this point. It says, during one 15-month period in 1999 through 2000, for example, 2,857 children were summarily rescued by Florida officials. Now he's using summarily rescued. What he means is they were taken. He's got some sarcasm, I like him. Only 86 of those children, approximately 3%, were returned to their parents within 24 hours. Because some of those returns resulted from unilateral agency decisions, that's that rare occasion where somebody goes, you really screwed up, you better give those kids back. But if you include that a couple of those were from agency decisions, DCSF's success rate under Florida's post-deprivation review, meaning you get court after we've taken your children, closely approached 98%. Remarkable as it may sound, Florida's judges found that DCF correctly estimated probable cause in 98 out of every 100 cases. What in human affairs has a 98% success rate? To me, that just sums it up. That's what we're dealing with. In any event, another major target is if you have teenage daughters, and this is not sexist, this is based on 22 years of experience, ladies and gentlemen. Children, as you know, go through tremendous hormonal changes, and I'm not referring to any daughter anywhere. I'm talking about daughters of divided families with a new stepdad. That is a real common target, and I see it all the time, and I meant to bring my collection of polygraphs. When a case comes to me with a sex abuse allegation, for my own personal, my own rules, my own morals, I ask the person, will you take a polygraph for me? And they, absolutely, absolutely. And I am holding approximately 26 polygraphs, I've been doing this for a long time, of people who were accused, not always by the child, it could have been by a doctor or somebody else. This guy did sex abuse. Passed every one of them. I have another like 14 or 15 that are other kind of polygraph issues, but in all the polygraphs I've ever taken that went to, and was in CPS court, only one question of there's 4 questions per test that you can ask, was ever, did a guy lie about something that was something minor? And yet, go to CPS court and lose pretty much every time. In fact, when I consider myself one of the best attorneys in California doing this, and I consider that woman over there one of the very best attorneys in California that does this in terms of juvenile dependency work. And I have to tell people, my win rate in terms of an outright dismissal is like 15–20%. If you came to me with your medical malpractice case, or your auto accident case, or your whatever case, and I told you that, you should probably jump up and run. That's how much you win? 15–20%? But that's how much I win. And I've had a presiding judge of a juvenile court say, this guy's one of the best attorneys in the state, in court on the record. But that's the reality. There's no winning there. The whole damn thing is a sorority, and the whole damn thing is a fraternity. I have sat at counsel's table with my elbows on the crumbs of a little lunch soiree that they had between my morning session of trial and my afternoon session of trial, in which all of the attorneys and the judge sat in there and had a buffet. That's one of the problems with the system. I jumped to my problems with the system list. Who's going to flag me when I'm getting near the end? Because I'm starting to get pissed. I ain't kidding you. It gets me pissed. You'll let me know? Okay. Another major group that you need to be careful is if you're a homeschooler. God, do they hate that. They can't get to your kid. They hate that. They go to the schools now and the teachers, oh, sure. Because you know why? Because the teachers go to these seminars put on by these bastards, and they tell them, if you don't, let us in, or if you don't report abuse, then you could be found liable, right? Of course, there's been like 4 prosecutions for that in the whole history of the mandated reporting law. But the poor people, they're scared, so they call it a slight bruise, or anything, And once you're in, I'm telling you, it's like a string on a sweater. The sweater, you're in. So the homeschoolers, they hate that, so they'll come after you more. They'll find a way. The child with chronic health problems, that goes to that Munchausen by proxy thing. If you've got a child with chronic health problems, oh my God, tread carefully. Call us now. Don't wait before you make every move. I swear to God, there are people I would tell them, you need to do everything you can on that computer and figure out everything you can before you ever take that child to a hospital. I have had cases, I don't know how many, it's got to be 5 or 6. People take their kid in because they did something they know, like they have a chest cold, or they did break a toe or whatever, and then they do a full body scan on a kid and they go, oh, broken rib. And the parent's like, huh? Where the hell I don't know where the hell the broken rib came from. And I'm telling you, these people aren't all lying. They're not all there breaking their kids' ribs. But, and I think Karen might talk on shaken baby syndrome. It's the same problem. I mean, you get into this medical profession, and those people, that they have a God complex. And social workers, no offense. There is a God complex that runs through that crowd that you cannot believe. The root of all evil isn't money, it's power. It's just that money is one of the objects of power. And when you give people this unbridled power over other human beings, and up until the last, say, 10 or 15 years, when me and my colleagues have been suing the crap out of them, they've walked free, it really screws you up. And it goes back to that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And we see it. And Karen and we take people in and they read their reports and they go, that's not true. I never said that. And then we have people, therapists tell us, I never told a social worker that. I never did. So there's homeschoolers, child with chronic health problems, someone who goes in with a known injury, and then so some of the problems with the system, the overall problems, is mandated reporting. You got to drop that shit. People are smart enough, well, many people are smart enough to decide when they need to report something or not report something. The problem is that they're scared to death out there, the teachers and the doctors and the nurses, and they're all told that you're a mandated reporter now. And here's the biggest thing. Somebody needs to train these people on a monthly basis of the damage that they are doing to a child, never mind the parents, that they are doing to a child when they remove that child, even from an abusive home. The studies are replete. A child even removed from an abusive home is more likely to be harmed in the care of the state. 40 to 70% by all the studies that are out there so far. Okay? So what the hell are you doing? You're taking this kid, that separation that they feel, that anxiety, it shows up in infants. That case that she put up there about the baby in Sacramento, that's my case. In fact, we just settled that against the county. They'll be paying a tidy $325,003, and we're still going after the cops. What they did was outrageous. But that little boy, Sammy, he was about 7 months at the time that they got him back, 6 months by the time he got him back. And he was in the hospital, because he did have a problem, he did need to get taken care of. And when mom returned after being gone for 3 days, back to the hospital, the little baby would start to fall asleep. And then And he'd look over. Like, oh, okay, she's there. Good, all right. And he'd do that like 5 or 6 times. Babies, in the cases that I've had, won't let their mother go to the bathroom. They will, Mom, come on, they're right there.